Yesterday, Hungary and Serbia held general elections. Now, for years I've been making YouTube videos about politics in Hungary. I had been following that election. That video was easy. I had a lot more material that I could have put in it, but I didn't want to make it too long. Serbia is a much different story. I don't have anyone in Serbia to ask questions to. It's kind of a black hole of information in the United States. Most Americans, if you were to ask them about Serbia, if they even knew what it was, they would probably say something like, well, a Serb is like a Russian, only meaner. They're supposed to be the bad boys of Europe. NATO launched a war against them in the late 90s. Serbia was bombed for 78 days. And so, you know, the stereotype of Serbia is it's like a Russian support club within Europe's borders. But all jokes aside, I'm going to try to break this down. Now, in Serbia, there's an extreme amount of political parties. And then many of those parties are grouped into coalitions. And the coalitions themselves can change dramatically from election to election. Now, the incumbent president was reelected, Alexander Vučić. Hopefully, I'm saying that somewhere in the ballpark. Now, he represents a coalition, SNS, Together We Can Do Everything. His coalition got 60% in the last election and controlled 75% of the seats in parliament. This time, they got 43.4%, and they're going to have 120 and 250 seats. So he's being bumped down from 75% of parliament to less than half. So that's a huge change. His party can't control parliament outright, although his party is such a broad coalition of parties. I don't know how functional it is, but essentially it's a big tent, broad spectrum, centrist populist party that draws from both the center right and the center left. Now there's United for Victory, got 14%, 37 seats. They are also a big tent, broad spectrum, centrist coalition drawing from both center right and center left. As far as I know, the main thing that differentiates United for Victory from Together We Can Do Everything is United for Victory doesn't like Alexander Vučić, the president. Now, the big surprise was there's three different hardline conservative parties or coalitions of parties that all won seats. And this is all new for the Serbian parliament. And so at the top of the list, I got National Democratic Alternative, basically hardline, socially conservative, 5.5% with 15 seats. Then you got this coalition, Deviri and POKS with 10 seats. Deviri apparently started out as a Christian youth group. POKS is Movement to Restore the Kingdom of Serbia. And then this is the Serbian Oath Keepers, which is a hardline, socially conservative Serbian Orthodox Christian party. They got 3.8% with 10 seats. There's two other hardline conservative parties that also got about 2.5% each that did not win seats. Then you've got the Socialist coalition down here, which was at least three parties. They got 11.8% and 32 seats. Now, some of the socialists in Serbia are hardline conservative on social issues. So this is a phenomenon I've talked about many times before. In America, in Sweden, in Germany, someone that calls himself a socialist is usually more concerned with advocating, you know, extreme, far out there left-wing social ideologies. They don't even care about the economics. socialist economics play a distant second fiddle after, 5-year-old transgenders and men, competing in women's sports and stuff like that. But in this part of the world, it's a lot different. You have actual socialists who advocate socialist economics, but on social issues, they're much more conservative, or in many cases, much more conservative than a lot of the people who are supposed to be center-right in Northern Europe and North America. Now, there was what appears to be a Western-style left-wing party, Mramo, which was the Serbian Green Party, got 4.8% and 12 seats. So this, as far as I know, this is the only sort of Western-style left-wing party that even won seats. Now, there's people in these coalitions here that may also be Western-style leftists, but it's a mixed bag. Then you have something else that's very interesting. There's a huge amount of minority interest parties in Serbia that ran in this election. And so there was a Hungarian party that got 6 seats, a Bosniak party that got 3 seats, a Croat party that got 2 seats, another different Bosniak party that got 2 seats. And then there was even more minority interest parties that did not get enough votes. There was a Russian minority interest party, a Gypsy party, an Albanian party, maybe 2 different Albanian parties. But that was kind of an interesting thing there. So there you have it. Hopefully I'll get some good feedback on this video. Serbia, as far as I know, is a fairly socially conservative country. And I think that the election results show that. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post your comment below. Subscribe to my backup channels on BitChute and Odyssey. I'll have links in the description below. And click the subscribe button. New video every few days.